Hip hip array! Welcome to the Array Project. In this project, you will demonstrate your understanding of multiplication and division concepts. Now, when you start any project, the most important part is to write your name. So make sure you make a copy of this and you put your name right here where it says by. That way people will know who did this great work. All right, so let's jump into what the project should look like. Alrighty, so one moment, here we go. Here is an excellent example. I found a photo of an egg carton and I'm using this. I thought it was a good idea to use this one since it has 2 rows of 6 eggs. And I know that that looks like an array, and that's what this project is about. So I looked at the picture and I asked myself, what kind of math question can I ask? And I created a division problem. So I used the information in the photo. An egg carton can hold up to 12 eggs. And there are 2 rows in the egg carton. So my question is, how many eggs can fit into each row? Here are the equations that are part of this fact family. And I have my 2 multiplication ones, and followed by the inverse operation, the 2 division equations here. So let's have a look and see which one would fit. Well, I know the one that will fit is down here. It is the 12 eggs are put into 2 rows, and my answer, 6, would be the answer to the question. How many eggs can fit into each row? 6 eggs can fit into each row. So that answers that. Cool. But let's look at the other ones real quick. And these we could use for checking our work. So 6 times 2 equals 12. That would be that 6 eggs with 2 rows, so 6 eggs in 2 rows, in each row that is, would be 12 total eggs. Or here we have 2 rows with 6 eggs in each row. That would also equal 12 total eggs. Now, this one here, 12 divided by 6 equals 2. The question is not asking what this equation offers. This one is offering 12 eggs put into 6 rows. It would be 2 eggs in each row. So let's look at that. That would mean that we would be looking at our rows in this way. 1 row, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that would be 6 rows with 12 eggs and 2 eggs in each of those rows. That's not the question, is it? We always want to answer the question that is being asked. So in that case, like I said, it is 12 eggs put into 2 rows is 6 in each row. So how can I show that? I have my picture, my math question. I have all these great equations that represent the fact family for 12, 6, and 2. But I want to make it very clear that I understand this multiplication concept here. And I would do that with my next slide. So I'm going to open up that next slide in a moment, and here it is. Okay. So I have the same image and I have the same information, but this time over here I have highlighted the equation that matches the information. Here it is, 12 eggs divided by 2 rows equals 6 eggs in each row. But a little more clearly, I wrote it down here. I wrote a total of 12 eggs put into 2 rows equals 6 eggs in each row. That's exactly what this equation is, and that's an exact answer to this question, how many eggs can fit into each row. Here is a bar diagram, or a total and parts chart, TP chart, with the top of it showing 12 total eggs, my 2 groups, my 2 rows, my 2 boxes here, and there are 6 eggs in each. And I included it like this, 6 eggs, and I even put a picture, 6 eggs and 6 eggs, to reconfirm that there are 6 eggs in each row. All right, another place for our scholar name, just in case I wanted to add my name right there. I could erase this and put my name right here. But for now, I'm going to leave it as scholar name, so you can put your name right there. Okay, so that is my complete example. On the next slide, I have what I call the starter for you. This is the starter. And it is going to be about push pins. So I titled it, What's Your Opinion? So, oh wait, I'll pause so you can laugh. Okay, good. Now, all right, so this question is going to be about push pins. And I have started over here, a little information for you. And I have this. A box of push pins has some number of rows. I don't know, maybe 5, maybe 6. I can decide later. So a box of push pins has blank rows of some number. I'll make it up, maybe 6, maybe 8, maybe 9. I'll decide later. Of push pins in each row. So how many total push pins are in the box? So this time, I don't have the total. So I am going to be looking for the total of push pins that are in this box when I know that there are a certain number of rows with a certain number of push pins in each row. Over here is my push pin. Where did I find it? Well, I just Google searched push pins and I found this nice image. When I got the image, it was gigantic, but I made it small, nice and small like that. And now I highlighted it, or I clicked on it like this, click, and I'm going to use my control functions to help me. I'm going to click and hold down the control button plus the letter C. And now I'm going to continue to hold down the control button, but this time I'm going to hit the letter V. And when I did that, it gave me a second push pin of the same size. Cool. But that's not enough for my array here. I want a bigger array than that. So now I'm going to go back. I'm going to click on the first push pin. I'm going to hold down the control button. I'm going to now click the second push pin. As I continue to hold down the control button, I'm also going to hit the letter C. And now I'm going to click on the letter V. What I just did is I just copied those 2 push pins and I brought them right next door. So I begin my first row. And I think for this, I want to have 4 rows. So I'm going over to my question and I've decided I want 4 rows of push pins. And I think I want to have 6 push pins in each row. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 push pins. I need 2 more. So I'm going to, again, click Control. I highlighted 2. I'm going to click on Copy, and I'm going to click on Paste. Boom. Okay, now I have, look at that. I have 6 push pins in this row. Now, how many rows did I want? I want to have 4 rows of 6 push pins. So here's 1 row of push pins, but I need more. So I have my first row of push pins. I need a second row of push pins. That's 2 rows. If I put it right here, right after the first row, let me see if I can get that mark there. Good. And now I'll need another row. That's 3 rows, and then I will need yet another row to get my 4 rows with 1, 2, 3. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is. And 6 push pins. All right, so how am I going to do that? Well, it's going to be really easy. One moment while I erase all that. Kablamo. Okay, good. I'm going to go back and I'm going to click on that first push pin and I'm going to hold the control button. Click the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, and the sixth one. I will continue to hold the control button and I will press the letter C. Click. And now I'm going to press the letter V. Click. All right, so Control C and Control V. Now I have 6 push pins for my second row. I can click on Control V again, and suddenly I have another set of 6. So I now have 3 rows. I want to line those up real nice. Oh, a little bit more. Work on my precision there. Okay, I have my 3 rows, and I need 1 more row. So click. Awesome. All right. Awesome. 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 So, oh, wait, let's line it up. Work on precision here. There. Much more precise. All right. Not too bad. That's pretty much aligned. I probably could have done a little bit better. If I click on Control Z, that allows me to go to the undo button. And now, wow, those look nicely lined up into a beautiful array. Here I have 4 rows of 6 push pins. So let's come over here now to the fact family side. And I have it set up so you can put your 2 multiplication equations here. So we could write 4 rows of 6 push pins is equal to 24 push pins. How do I know it's 24? Well, I could sit here and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 push pins. Awesome. Another way, though, to look at it would be to look at it vertically. So I would have, in this case, 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, 6 rows. Those would be columns. But if I'm looking at it that way, it would be like this. 6 rows, or columns, I guess. 6 columns with 4 push pins in each is the same answer, of course, 24 push pins. Here in my division equation, I would say I would take my total now, 24 push pins, put into 4 rows is 6 push pins in each row. And the other way to write it, the one that would correspond to this one, would be 24 push pins put into 6 rows is, yes, 4 push pins in each row. Nice. So I've gotten a lot done. I like how I've set this all up. And now I want to go and I want to make a copy of this slide. So I'll click on Slide, Duplicate Slide, and kablamo, believe it or not, this is now a duplicate of the first slide that I made. And in this case, I want to now show my answer to this question. Which one of these equations clearly answers this? Well, let's see. It says, how many total push pins are in the box? So I'm looking for a total of push pins. This would help me. And I know that it says 4 rows of 6. So that will be this one. So I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to use my highlighting function, and I'm going to highlight it. Oh, that was actually just changing the font color, which is cool too. But I want to actually highlight to make it stand out a little more. I'll use my orange there, much better. And maybe I'll make it just slightly larger so it sticks out a little bit more, 18. All right, so there we go. And I will remove these equations, click, so that now here on my, and I can also click, delete the words fact families, those are not necessary. I'm going to shrink this up a little bit, push it up there, nice. So I have my equation that matches the question, but what next? So here was the original. Here's what I now have. When I was doing the excellent example, I had this, and I moved it to this one, my second version of the same information. So I could see, okay, I had my equation followed by a little sentence explanation. So let's do that here also. So I'm going to create a little text box underneath my equation here. Put my text box in, and I'm going to write what information this says. So that says 4 rows of 6 eggs in each row is equal to 24 total eggs. Now you're going to notice I just talked about eggs, but that was the last one. I just realized we're talking about push pins. My goodness gracious. Push pins, but no problem. It's a quick change. There we go. 4 rows of 6 push pins is equal to 24 total push pins. Cool. And that looks a lot like what I had here. my information matches the equation. And so does it here. Yep, it does right here. 4 rows of 6 push pins in each row is equal to 24 total push pins. My last step is now to create a table that I'll put here to represent my bar diagram. And that table is up here, my choices up here, and I'm looking for insert table, and I'm going to create a table that has 4 rows over, and there it is. It's gigantic. So what do I need to do? I need to use my arrows here to shrink it up a little bit. Great. Okay. And now my next step is to merge this top. This top here, this top row, needs to be merged for my bar diagram to show a total. So to do that, I highlighted all 4 of these top boxes. I click on the word table at the top of my screen, and I click on merge cells, and voila, they're merged. Okay, I like to also make everything centered, so I'm going to make everything centered here so that when I type in this, it looks a little neater. I want to increase my font size slightly. Let's bring it to an 18. Awesome. Okay, now let's write it. So there's 24 total push pins. I almost wrote eggs again. 24 total push pins. How many are in each row? Well, these are the rows. This was representing here. So I can take my little push pin friend again, and I can copy it, and I can click on Control V, and I can bring it over here and just shrink it real small, super small. And now I'm going to answer that question. There are 6 push pins in each row. Or I can just put a little 6 push pin symbol, or I can even, might be more fun, would be to copy that and paste a total of 6, but then that might get a little challenging later. So I think for now, I just want to include 1 little push pin to represent the 6 total push pins in that row. And then if you notice, I'm going to highlight and copy and see when I can Control V, nothing happens. So that's not going to work. So over here, I need to also write 6. And this one, I'm going to write 6. And this one, I'm going to write 6. I'm going to copy that little push pin, Control copy, and Control V. And carry that over here. And I'm going to click Control V again to make another one. Carry it to right there. And Control V to copy my final one. So what does that illustrate? That illustrates that when I have 24 total push pins, and I can even put 1 push pin over here too. So it will, whoa, oh goodness gracious. So it will represent, there we go. Okay, so we have 24 total push pins, 6 push pins, 6 push pins, 6 push pins. I want to highlight all those and make them bold. I should have done that earlier. And now I can see how that relates. So I have my bar diagram, I have my written explanation, I have my equation, I have the word problem with a question and information, and I have an illustration. But what you'll remember is I started with the illustration. I decided how many push pins I wanted to have. I filled in the information. I wrote all of those basic facts here. I discovered which of the basic facts applies to the question. I wrote out my explanation, and I created a visual here that represents what the information here is. So that's all very good. I highlighted that box just because I like to change the colors every now and then. Ooh, that's cool. Make the sides a little bit bigger, and boom, that looks quite professional. It would look even better if I included my name, but that will be for you to do. Okay, so I've done all that for you, and now my next step is to remove it all. So I'm going to erase everything I just did. I'm going to go into my file history, and I'm going to see revision history, and I'm going to travel back in time to a time that did not exist. And that time was, one moment please. Dun, 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 dun. All right, now I've gone back. I'm going to go back even further. Boom, 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 boom. And now I brought us back to where we used to be. So I'm going to show less. I'm going to actually turn that off. I'm going to restore this version. Kablamo. Boom. All right, so now we're back to this, and you get to create one. Now, I created the one with 4 rows of 6 push pins. So I'm going to challenge you to create something different for this one. And then when you finish this and you've made all your proper points here that you want to make, and you included all of the information you need to make on both sides, both the slide that's kind of like this and the slide that's sort of like that, and you've done it for this one, you can move on to this one, an apple a day. And you'll do the same thing. And then once you have successfully created an array project for both of these versions, guess what? You get to click on Slide, Duplicate, blammo. Look at this. And you get to erase the title. So I'm going to erase this title. Boop, done. Erase the image. Boop, done. Erase that image. Boop, done. I'm not going to erase anything here yet, except because it will help me remember what I need to write. But I'm going to now choose, or this is what you'll do. You'll choose something else you want to talk about. So we did push pins and eggs and apples. You could choose maybe crayons or pumpkins or stars and create a fun title and create a slide that looks like the ones that we did previously, but this time it will be all of your own work. So I'm going to actually, I think I will remove this. I'm going to write blank has blank rows of blank whatevers in each row. So maybe it would be a box has 3 rows of 4 stars in each row, or whatever you want it to be. How many total stars are in the box? Question mark. Okay. So good luck with this. Have fun. And make sure to get feedback from your partners. And maybe you too will create your own video of your Hip Hip Array project.